I'll now go to Washington for Ms. Schrier for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ranking Member DeGette, and thank you to our witnesses today. My understanding is that for every gigawatt of nuclear capacity constructed, some 200,000 job years of employment are created. And as we increase the mix of nuclear energy in the U.S. energy grid, many more very skilled workers will be needed to construct and operate and maintain and also guard these facilities. We heard from my colleagues and witnesses in the earlier panel about the workforce shortages and our federal government and what we must do to manage the workforce to meet the need for nuclear power in the coming decades. But ensuring that we develop and support workers within the private sector is also important, not just the public sector. In fact, in Washington State, we have a long history of nuclear power with hundreds of companies participating. TerraPower is actually one of them, but universities, we have PhDs, we have PNNL, which is a powerhouse of research in this area. I was just a few minutes ago so heartened by your comments, Ms. Kornzek, about how the coal industry jobs can translate so well into nuclear industry jobs, because that's one of the things that we've really worried about, is that we don't want to be pie in the sky about making sure that everybody can transition to a clean energy job. And so what you said meant a lot, I think, to all of us. And I think that fact should weigh heavily in decisions about where to site nuclear power plants so that we can have those same people doing the work. I wanted to direct this question really to the entire panel, just for your thoughts, and it's about workforce. I'd like to start with you, Ms. Kornzek, because you touch on this significance of nuclear power and job creation. Can you just expand on ways you've seen the private sector thoughtfully approach workforce development, where partnerships have been made, what lessons we can learn on the government side, and how we should prepare the next generation of leaders and thinkers in the nuclear industry?
Sure, I'm happy to begin, and my colleagues obviously can jump in and add. I think a recent DOE report came out as they looked ahead at potentially having 3 times the amount of nuclear power by 2050, and they estimated that we would need 375,000 additional workers. So just to give sort of a volume, it's very significant. But these aren't all nuclear engineers, right? They run the whole gamut. Some of them are engineers, mechanical, electrical, et cetera, but they're also plumbers and pipe fitters and electricians and INC techs, and they're also, folks that maybe have just a 2-year degree, a chemistry technician, for example. There are some people right out of high school. And so I think what we need to really look at from a workforce perspective is literally K through 12, and on. Like, don't just start at secondary education. Start from the very beginning. I know we have teamed several years ago. I want to give credit to the American Nuclear Society, where they have built in programs about nuclear energy into K through 12 programs, because I think it starts that young that you get people sort of interested and engaged. And my hat's off to American Nuclear Society. They worked with the Department of Energy to get this established, and they're continuing to grow it. When I was a site vice president, back in the earlier age, maybe 2008, 2010 timeframe, there was the conversation around a nuclear renaissance. And what it caused the industry to do is partner with community colleges and partner with others to begin to get that supply chain of people, if you will, ready. And so I think that's really what needs to happen again today. If there's this clear signal that we are absolutely focused on making nuclear thrive, then, if you will, a machine begins within the industry itself that says, we want to invest in these people. We want to team with people that have fossil fuel workers and encourage them to come over to nuclear. We want to team with universities. We want to team with high schools to have a natural pipeline. We work very well with the unions. They have fantastic apprenticeship programs. We're all in.
Yeah, I'd like to reinforce that comment. And I chair an organization called E4 Carolinas, which is a North and South Carolina Energy Association. Plumbers, electricians, pipe fitters, welders. we identified a long time ago, having nuclear-grade welders is going to be critically important. That's an area we're already challenged in the existing nuclear industry, let alone having the workforce available for these advanced reactors going forward. We talked a lot about the issue of the bow wave of retirement, the NRC. It is the same in the nuclear industry, and particularly with the trades. So, I think colleges and universities will respond to having the engineers that we need, but it's really the trades that are going to need more help, both from unions and otherwise.
Thank you. I appreciate those comments, particularly touching on apprenticeship programs. I yield back.